This is Michidini. Today I want to talk about how separation is actually good. I wanted to talk on this subject simply because it really represents the true quaternion of things at its best. The true quaternion of things is best understood as the good being deceived as bad and the bad being deceived as good. Here we have a quote from Abraham Lincoln. That's President Abraham Lincoln. And it says, "What I would most desire would be the separation of the white and black races." And that was July 17th in 1858 by President Abraham Lincoln. A lot of people may think that because Abraham Lincoln freed the slaves and emancipated the slaves, that he would support the unity between the two, but he actually supported segregation. He actually supported separation. It goes on to say more of the quote. And that basically says, "See our present condition. The country engaged in war. Our white men cutting one another's throats. And then consider what we know to be the truth. But for your race among us, there could not be war, although many men engaged on either side do not care for you one way or another." All right, and this goes on. There's more to it. It says, "Why should the people of your race be colonialized? And why should they leave this country? This is perhaps the first question for proper consideration. You and we are different races. We have between us a broader difference than exists between almost any other two races." All right, and these are the words of Abraham Lincoln. "Whether it is right or wrong, I need not discuss, but this physical difference is a great disadvantage to us both, as I think your race suffer very greatly, many of them, by living among us." All right, he believes to suffer very greatly by living among them. While on each side, if this be admitted, it affords a reason at least why we should be separated. It is better for both, therefore, to be separated. These are words of Abraham Lincoln. And that was August 14th, 1862. All right. And to go even further than that, Thomas Jefferson had made a quote about commerce with all nations. "An alliance with none should be our motto." And that's President Thomas Jefferson. Both of these presidents were considered our founding fathers. Now we have the United Nations, the Council of Foreign Relations, Trilateral Commission, stating that our forefathers wanted unity in the world, wanted to unify the world. They wanted to nationalize. That's exactly what they wanted. Later on, a guy named Marcus Garvey, who really liked the idea of African Americans going back to Africa to nationalize. Later on, after Marcus Garvey came Malcolm X, who believed that black people should nationalize as well, right? Meaning they supported separation as well, and it actually was a good thing. A lot of people don't know, but once the African Americans were freed from slavery, a lot of them, a lot, and I mean the quite majority of them were Republicans, and I'm pretty sure they believed that separation was good as well. For even animals in the wild has to separate each other. They may do things together, but for humans, the things we need to focus together is trade. But we can trade with other races and with other nations, but we shouldn't unify with any of them, for we are different, just as much as horses and zebras are different, just as much as tigers and lions are different. They may be the same species, but it'll be best for them to separate, and to be separated is actually the best for both animals, and it would actually be the best for both races of human beings. For you cannot truly get rid of racism unless you separate the two races. Therefore, nationalizing blacks and nationalizing whites, light skins, and so on and so on. It's not to be racist, but it's the truth. For then, no one can say that we're minorities, or we're the majorities, or we're slaves. It will actually be unity. But the first thing is to get rid of the British that's in power. Once you get rid of them, then we could probably start working on something that's a little more stronger, and to make people feel that race is not an issue, but it always will be, as long as we're under their colonial process. Racism will always be an issue. So here you have it, actual physical evidence of their own words, Abraham Lincoln and Thomas Jefferson, that believed in separation. And now we're trying to unify the world. This really represents the true quaternion of things. For we think it's bad for separation, but it's actually a good thing. It's natural. It's actually a natural thing. And it'll be best for everybody and anybody. It's kind of like if I'm a Lakers fan and you're a New York fan, or Miami Heat fan, the rules are fair, and let the best team win. Thank you for taking a look at this post. For the true quaternion of things shall set you free. Visit www.michadini.com. That's www.michadini.com. Support the cause.